Okay, gonna show you a set of YJ doors, and I wish I had a set of later models or early models, however you look at it, to show you the difference. There is a difference on a YJ door. So doors will work from 1976 all the way up to 1995. So if you find that range out there, if you have an early CJ, occasionally you'll have to swap out the strikers because they have that style. That's a good example of an early CJ door. That's not a factory one, of course, but it's got a crank, almost like an old screen door. And then your what we call paddle handles, these guys here. So this video is intended more for customers looking at these doors for condition-wise, but I figured we'll do, we like to make product videos. People always ask us this stuff. So when you're looking at doors, there's a couple things to know. The first things that stand out on these doors are the mirror style, which these do not have. We call these sport mirrors, and they're little mirrors, and they mount up here. And I can order these; they're no big deal. They still make them. They're aftermarket, of course, but they're decent. They're actually so small they hold in place well. Some of the aftermarket bigger ones we call the Mickey Mouse ear style, like on probably hard to see, but over there on the YJ on the half doors. Let's see if I zoom in here. Those have got the Mickey Mouse style, and those will go on full doors or half doors. But anyway, these mount here, and they're just little itty bitty mirrors. They look better in some ways, but they're not as user. You don't get as much view out of them. So that's the first thing to know. If you want to install the Mickey Mouse style on these doors, there's a couple ways about it, but one simple way is to swap the hinges out. Because as you can see, these aren't provisioned, these don't have holes. The easiest way people usually go is just drill and tap these holes out. And this one's missing the upper hinge anyway, so it'd be a good time just to swap over to the other style, or replace it. I might have one of these hinges. I'll have to look for this side if you decide just to keep these style on here. Okay, so that's the first thing on these doors, is the mirror style, and that's a big deal depending on what you're looking for. Okay, and then the other thing is the vented versus non-vented. That's another style. This is the vented, clearly. These open up like this, and then like so, and this is a full frame. This actually runs all the way down to the length of the bottom of the door, and these are not interchangeable, meaning that if your door didn't come this way without a lot of body work, it's hard to swap. It's not easy. Matter of fact, I've had guys try it and not doable. So okay, so that's the first thing, or that's the second thing. Okay, so the vents, and these are in good shape. The seals look good on them. And then the other thing to notice on YJ doors, and this is a super common thing, is they love to rust here. And this one is in great shape. Matter of fact, they get loose here because they swing open. So you can reinforce this by tacking that back up. It was never really factory. This is a separate upper piece, but some people do like to do that. Just prep the surface well so it doesn't start rusting there. That one's in great shape. Okay, this one here is in good shape. It's starting to crack a little bit more. It's the driver's side. Driver's side doors typically take the most wear. You're always going to see a lot more wear on the driver's side, but that's definitely something you'd want to fix on it. So that's those guys. Let's see what else I know about these doors, or any doors. Another area that they crack is here, and it's even all the way up to 06. This is common on TJ doors. They actually usually get all the way down into this area. So if you see this out there, don't be alarmed. It's just a flaw that they made. They flex there, and I bet this one's the same way. I've probably seen maybe 1 or 2 pairs of doors in the last 15 years that don't have cracks. Maybe they were, a lot of times those only happen when they've never really were installed. They were sitting in somebody's garage. So if you're out shopping doors or shopping Jeeps, those are common things to see. Even the rust in this upper frame part is fixable. It just depends on how good you are with metal work. I typically shy away from doors that have too much of it up there. This is definitely fixable, and it's not really rust, it's more of a crack on that one. And that one's perfect. So that's overall on that stuff. Okay, these doors are what we'd consider like one of our lower grade doors, not because their body's rough on them. They're actually fairly straight doors. and definitely usable for somebody. But they need new seals. The whole seal, surround seals, are torn, and the door panels, which are cheap anyway. These were the TJ's got kind of an upgraded door panel, or door card as people call these things. Let me flip them around here. So again, if you're looking at doors, just something to keep in mind. If it's missing them, and you can get creative. People diamond plate these things. They go kind of all different directions with them. So glass is good in both. I assume the regulators are good. That's obviously something we need to try out. See, on this one we can run it up. So, and nice and smooth. That's what you want on a window. The panel's actually getting more in the way than you can see where it's rubbing there than anything. And make sure it goes all the way down, and like so. And then that one, of course, I don't have a crank, so I'll have to don't put vice grips on your doors unless you want to replace the regulator, because it's all one assembly. So if you buy a Jeep and it's got vice grips on those, factor that into your cost. Regulators are aftermarket at this point. You're not going to find new OEM, and the aftermarket ones are good for a couple of years. You'll be replacing them every so often. Parts are a little bit more brittle. Door rods, that are these guys. We call these door rods. Okay, if we ever get a door that's damaged, we'll part them out. We very rarely buy damaged doors or Jeeps that come in damaged like that, so I don't get them in all that often. They look like coat hangers. They are not, and they are not easy to make. They're threaded on one end and curved on the other. And let's see how to phrase this. It has failed many times before if customers attempted to fix that with God only knows what rods they found out there, and I have never seen one last. So they take quite a amount of torque and tension to open and close these heavy old doors. So if those are bad, not only are they not easy to find, but they're fairly expensive. So those do work on these. We were able to set them on a Jeep, open and close them, so no, those work. And like I said, overall these doors aren't bad. So what these doors would need, if you were looking at a set similar, or you're the customer looking at these doors, door cards, seals. I do seals on them because they will leak, especially if you're in an area that's got a lot of rain. This side doesn't even have a seal, so plus they quiet them down. They don't slam as hard. There's a lot of reasons you want seals on them. And the rods are good. Regulators, this one's good. I'll have to check this one out. Door handles look good inside and out, and I think that does it on that. Now there's one other area that you need to look for rust on these, which is the bottom lip. And if you're looking at a set online, it's a good idea to ask them to get a photo or a video like so. And again, this is remember, this is driver's side. Yeah, so this is clean. There's absolutely no rust on this area or this outer lip. This outer lip loves to rust out. I don't know if I'm even showing that very well, but there's no rust on that whatsoever. So this is, if we were to fix these doors, and I was originally offering that, but I'm going to recant on it because I just don't have the time to mess with them. Although I can get you the pieces for them, and if that dissuades you on the deal, I completely understand. But I'm afraid if I offer it, we won't get it done in time. It'll be one of those things that ends up just being the pain for both of us, and I don't want you to upset with us. So I'd rather not take any more money on them. We'll just sell them for $850, which is what we usually get for doors in this condition. And if you see this ad in 5 years, that'll probably be double that with inflation going at its current rate. But otherwise, who knows? Maybe they'll fix everything. Doubt it, but we'll see. And again, here's your lip. Okay, nice clean passenger side here, and then again under here. The other one just missing the gasket. This gasket could be hiding something, but as I pull it back, it's nice white paint under there, which is probably the original color of these doors. So there's no rust on those either. So, and that's another area. Again, it's not the end of the world. You're not going to see it all that often. So if you find a super cheap set and don't care, you might as well, grab them if you can. And if you find a clean set, let's say you find a rusty set out there that's just, or maybe even just dented to heck or whatever, but they're got rods in them, they got regulators in them, They got glass in them, they got vents, whatever. Okay, pick them up. Especially if you're a YJ, if you own a YJ, these are a CJ7 or a Scrambler. These are really hard to find parts are, and there's bound to be a time you're going to need them. Okay, the inside. One last thing to note: we call these scrubbers. And I think people have a number of names for them, but there's an inner and there's an outer. Okay, and that basically it's a felt piece against the glass. It's just a seal, prevents water from, basically there's still water that gets down in them, I'm sure, but prevents water from loading up the doors so that you're getting stuff in your cab. Okay, these are both bad. On something like this, what we'd offer, since we don't have, if we were in our slow season like January, for example, I'd have Kevin go through them, but they spend all day making crates, so it's just not going to happen. But anyway, back to the doors. If you're looking at these doors and or any doors that we're selling, we can sell you the whole shebang on what you'll need to put them back. The only thing I would hesitate on buying from us, unless I have a good set in, which at this point I don't think I do, are door cards. And the only reason I say that is because the supplier that we can get is the same stuff you can buy on Amazon and eBay, and it's a lot easier to return stuff. We do an exchange policy only, so if you end up with door cards through us, we'll exchange them for you a few times, but if you end up not liking them, it is what it is. With Amazon and eBay, I don't know about eBay, but Amazon, I think you can exchange as much as you want. And those cards can be really cheaply made. I've seen guys do diamond plate. Finding original set are real hard to find usually. You can find them on eBay sometimes. I don't have a set right now, otherwise I'd offer them on these doors. But for the scrubbers I can get, for the around gasket, the door surround gasket as we call them, I can get. I'll check the regulator out, and if I need to replace it I will, and I can put that piece on or have Kevin do that, but again I think that's okay. What else in it? This has got like a inner, I think this is probably another inner gasket I can order. There's a company we order most of our stuff through, and I think they sell pretty much the whole shebang on it. One thing else to note is these were painted at one time, and clearly the window was, I don't know, probably rolled down. I bet they rolled it down. That's probably what they did. And down there you can see they got a little bit of paint. So only one way to get that off is the razor blade. So definitely a little bit of work, but if you're having a hard time finding doors, this might be a good option for you. And if you're looking at doors, this is a great video for you, and I appreciate all the business over the years from everybody that's giving it to us, and we aim to please. So partsbreakers.com. Doors I usually don't put up because we don't ship them all that often. They're really hard to ship. We will ship them, but we have to really do our due diligence when we ship them. We ship them upright, and literally they get shipped standing up, banded really tightly to a pallet. That's the best way to prevent them from getting damaged. If we put them down on the ground, we've done that before, and the freight companies will stack something on them and they'll get damaged, so we just don't do it that way anymore. We will ship them, but just know that there is some cost with that. Standard freight on them is probably only a couple $100, but we usually charge a little bit extra because of the time into them. So, but if you have somebody passing through like you thought you might have and you still want them, I'd be happy to help load them up, and we'll go that route. Okay, so give me a holler, 303-666-9020, partsbreakers.com, and sorry for the lengthy video, and hopefully this helps others out there too, and have a great day.